Hello, everyone. Welcome back again to another episode of Own Your Image, Be on the Mirror. I'm Deshante.
And I'm Kanae.
And today we have a special guest with us, Brian Hill. Brian, welcome to the show. We'll go ahead and allow you to introduce yourself to the audience.
Thank you very much. I'm Brian Hill. I'm the director of Phoenix Fashion Week, and I'm also the host of the podcast Fashion Rewired. I work every day with emerging fashion designers from around the globe to help them design their business for success long term. I'm happy to be here.
Thanks for coming on. We're super excited to have you on. He was actually recommended by another one of our speakers, Elliot. And so we love
Elliot Carlisle in the house. I love him.
Yes.
He was phenomenal, a great, powerful man of God, and just he gave us a lot of tips. So we're excited to be speaking with you today.
Cool.
So tell us a little bit about your journey, kind of how you got started.
Sure. Arizona State University, undergrad. I was a student athlete. I started off making t-shirts on campus, just something to extra money, beer money, et cetera, have fun with it. And I was going to school as a real estate and marketing major. So I was there just to focus on making money, no question. But I was bitten by the creative bug when I made a t-shirt on campus in my ASU colors and people gave me like real money for it. And I just couldn't believe that someone wanted to pay for something I created that didn't exist just the day before that, you know? And from that, my parents were like, do not get into fashion, do not get into anything artistic, please just keep going to what you went to school for, which again is a real estate and marketing. So I just couldn't really let it go. And so I learned textiles backwards, meaning I went not for school for textiles, but I learned it on the grind inside cut and sew sewing facilities. And then launched my own clothing line, women's workout apparel, Femme Athletic. And then from there, made a bunch of mistakes, got better, made a bunch of mistakes, got better, and kept increasing. And all of the experience I was gaining along the way, I was able to join the Phoenix Fashion Week team as a volunteer in the very beginning. And now I'm the director, and we focus on emerging designers globally. So a lot of stuff happening between those kind of milestones, but really that's what drives me today is helping other designers like myself in the beginning to run a better business, which when you're creative, you really focus on the creativity, but you got to work on the business side as well. Something in between that is where success lies, and that's what I'm really focused on.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm so happy actually that you said that. You know, so many of us are creatives and we tend to forget, or not even forget, it's like how our brain functions. We forget about the business aspect of it and how we can really push it forward to give that gift to the world of our creative side, but also on the back end be lucrative and make some money from that. And so I want to ask you in that at the beginning, you know, you are going to school for one thing and then your parents are saying, you know, don't do this. How did you know on the inside, like, I need to continue on this path? Because I feel like sometimes parents, they're a huge influence for us to go one direction or the other, and to have them telling you, no, don't do it. How did you really overcome that?
Right. I think it's two things. I'm a big believer in faith and also my gut instincts. And the way it made me feel when I saw a person walking down campus wearing my t-shirt, that feeling you really can't duplicate from me, right? And so that feeling inside of, man, someone wanted something that I created, it's just a really special feeling, right? But your parents are about safety and security, which is super duper important. So again, you don't want to go too far to the creative side and not have some kind of safety and security, but you also want to create. And so what I just simply did was I really didn't take no for an answer. I just kept forging on. I was still in a great major at ASU. I was still on track to graduate. And I was still working my internships in real estate. Everything was still happening while I was trying to fulfill this creative side of it, right? And that's when I think I kind of joined the two pathways along the way. And definitely the business side of me going to school helped me become a better designer because I really cared about it costs this much to make and it sells for this much. That profit I can take and do it again. And so I'm a very simple person. I'm really about common sense. And that's really what I did. And there's probably way, way more designers that are more talented than me, cut and sew wise, but they're not going to outwork me, and they're not going to, I guess, figure things out like I do and be really strategic. And that's what I really apply to my particular career. And so when you're trying to do that and your parents or your family really aren't into what you're into creativity wise, you got to really show them why it makes sense. And more times than not, you've actually got to monetize it, you know? And so if you keep on having this big dream, but nothing keeps happening other than siphoning your money out of your credit card or your parents' wallet, of course they're going to be, skittish of that kind of thing. But if you can show them that there's something out there that people really want of me, and I can monetize that and I can duplicate it and show you I'm getting better along the way, they all come around. And my family is my biggest supporters, and it's because they know that I was meant to do this, no question, but I was meant to do it my way.
So I love that. That's a really beautiful story. I love how you it was almost like you fell into it and then it just kept going and it all worked out. How would you say faith played a role in that?
Sure. Well, for me, I think I'm a faithful person. Grew up in going to church with my family, and it's just really important to me. And depending on what anyone thinks in faith, higher power, something inside you, I really don't know. But my guiding light has really been in church first, and so my faith is really based on a lot of confidence in my family instilled in me, and then being able to see things happen that I have dreamt about, right, or I prayed about, and things went in that direction, which further gave me confidence that faith really is there and faith works. And so I think over time, I've been a very blessed person, and I felt I was brought here for a reason. And so I just really try to fulfill that by, getting in water that's too deep for me to swim in and going for big, big dreams. And when someone says, no, you can't, I go harder because I really feel I have somebody behind me that's more powerful than all of us together anyway. So I really don't worry about too many things. I just really kind of go hard.
Wow, I love that. Like you're like, let's go. How did you get to that point? And I guess have there been any things along the way that kind of have been like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, my mom raised me as a single mom, first of all. And she just, from the very beginning, I think she told me, what do you really want to be? How do you really want to put yourself in life? And there's one way to go, which I don't think is the best way, or this is hardworking way, but being really smart along the way as well. And I think I think I was blessed to have some things happen really well for me early on. Just, it might be winning a sport game, getting stronger, getting faster, just little things I was doing in sports and also school that were happening positive for me. That's really how confidence comes, when you have some success and you kind of build on that. You remember, right? And I think early on, it could have been I was good at shoveling snow from driveways back home in St. Louis, and I made some money. I was like, okay, that's cool. I had an idea to shovel snow, and then some other people wanted their driveway shoveled, so that worked for me. And then in the summertime, I had an idea to do lawn mowing, and someone said, I'll give you this much money to do lawn mowing for me. And so I've always been doing those kind of little things, entrepreneurial, from day one. And then I think with the schooling, it gave me the foundation to understand economics and math and retail and things like that. And again, all those things combined, I felt I had a lot of good weapons, or tools in my toolkit that just made me feel better. But I made 5 million mistakes along the way, like so many. I can't even tell you. I made a mistake yesterday, but being an athlete, I really don't get caught up in the mistakes so much. I just try to learn from them and course correct for tomorrow. And so if you know anything about sports, if you worry about the last play that you made wrong, you're going to get beat the next play. And so I really kind of live that. And I try and put that in Fast Week as well is, okay, we made some mistakes, got it. Let's analyze it. And what do we do wrong from day one? And let's just course correct it, right? Let's practice and get better at it. And I feel that sports has really been a part of my life and how I run things. And it's been, again, another blessing for me to get to here.
I love that, what you said. Sports really just, your background has helped fashion you to where you are right now in the fashion industry. Can we talk about, maybe some practical tips and tools to really activate the faith? It's
Mhm.
one thing to, believe the faith and have the confidence there, but what are your practical steps and daily routines to activate that faith to keep you going in the right direction?
Right. Well, so I had a big tragedy. I lost my mom to cancer, and she told me that I would be a good father, and she always wanted me to go to church. And so, literally, I was going to church. Okay, after college, I was there on Easter, Christmas, that kind of thing. But I really changed, and I went to church every single Sunday, and it was literally my medicine. I felt because when you know you're going somewhere on Sunday that is going to talk positive, give you great scripture, give you good lessons, life lessons that you can apply to your life today. I was lucky to have a pastor that was on the younger side. So he was like, he understood the club scene and stuff like that. And so it was really cool. And so for me, it was literally about 3 years of every Sunday. It really was because I felt that I really needed that. And some people might go and get a psychologist, or they might go get someone to talk to. But really, I went and I really used church as my medicine. And again, with all the bad things that happened along the way, when you go to church and you read from even the Bible, it even tells you so many different things about people that lost major losses in their lives, right? And they kept plugging away, and they did it these different ways, and you can apply those. And so that's really it. I wish there was like some magic like formula, but it's really not. It's really that everyday thing, that consistency. And again, I kept stumbling, kept making mistakes, but something else would happen really well, or really good for me or the brand, and I would just remember that and try to expand on that. It kept expanding on that. And then meeting good people like you two ladies and Elliot, has been the backbone of me just building quality relationships. And that I can't tell you how many times that's come back to me like tenfold. Hope I answered that question. I don't know if I did.
No, yeah, yeah. I love that. You know what? When you speak, it's so simple. It sounds so simple. And I love how you put it that way. And I feel in your life that's how you really live. So I don't know. It's just giving me some energy. I'm like, it's simple. Like, read it and apply it. And so I really like that. Speaking, we talked about a little bit about your journey, and we talked about faith. Let's hop into self-care. We love having this conversation with men. We always say it, 'cause we don't hear men talk about self-care as much. So what does self-care mean to you? And
Wow. We can talk inside, outside the body in this situation. So I think one time, this is kind of a funny story. I asked my mom for she was getting like some skincare or something in the store. I was like, hey, get some stuff like that for me. And she's like, you're a boy. I was like, I know, but I read Cosmo to understand women better. And I think I should probably do something with my skin or something, right? And I don't know. What do you think? She's like, okay. And so maybe that was my first step into self-care, like from a physical standpoint. But as you kind of fast forward to now, and if you want to use the pandemic as our territory right now, self-care for me, I'm still going to say that amongst the brutal pandemic, everything that happened, culturally in this world these last 9-10 months, for me personally, I think I was doing way too much before COVID and before everything else, right? I really do. And the self-care for me has been to step back, spend time with my daughter, like all kinds of weird time and fun times with her. And it was fine before, but I was doing this, Phoenix Fashion Week, working with models and designers every day. That was my everyday thing. And so then we started, playing cards, we played golf. We just went and shopped. We went to her favorite restaurant. We did different cool things like that, right? I learned different things about cheer that I didn't know really existed. And I learned the vernacular of being a cheer dad, all those kinds of things. And really, I just had more time all summer to do those things. And then my brain, honestly, was just rewiring. It was just resting. And so I felt I'm never going back to how it was before March 13th. Phoenix Fashion Week is number one. Yeah, it's great, but I'm not running around the clock like I did before. It's really going to be super segmented, super compartmentalized. I'm gonna let things go and go home. And it's paramount for me personally and how I'm built. And so I just feel like amazing. Even though when people say it's bad, 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 I'm like, it's good, good, good for me. And so I want everybody to really understand that you still have to look at lemons, and you still got to get, lemonades and vodka out of it, or whatever your drink is, because I knew back in March that it wasn't going to go away. And so I better embrace it. And what can I get out of it for me? And that's really my self-care mentally. which I don't think I would have been, I'm not sure how much longer I could have kept going the other way. Does that make sense?
Complete sense. That was wow. That was a really great breakdown of what I think we all, have went through over the last year, almost a year coming up, and that
Right.
it really has slowed us all down. And I think we're all dealing with that and trying to figure out how to move forward. So yeah, that made complete sense. Yeah.
Sure. And, and to reiterate on that, I think things that I thought were important, Deshante, not that important. Like I thought they were. We did a bunch of things that we just snipped out. Don't even do them anymore, right? And even when someone calls me or sends an email out, because I want to help young designers, young stylists like you two are, I'm so impressed with what you guys do. I've talked about you to my team. I go, these young women are doing amazing things on their own. They're so professional. They send things out, give me good details. I just feel good about them. I feel I'm supposed to be here with these two ladies. And so what's great about that is I choose to work with who I want to work with in 2021. And I really don't want to work with anyone I really don't align with. I really don't. And then I have the choice to do that this year, right? And so I think everyone should think about that. Think about things you've done in the past, especially you two working with celebrities and designers. And if the experience isn't really good, like, I really don't need that. You guys have a body of work that is respectable. You don't have to be dealing with that kind of stuff. And I don't want to. So I tell designers up front, listen, we're going to make your designs go around the world. We're going to have you work really hard. It's going to be really, really hard. If you're not really set up for that, and if you're going to be okay with constructive criticism, things like that, then it's really like a good fit for me. And so I try to get people right away to figure out what they want to do when it comes to working with me and my team. And if they get that, like we go hard, we roll with them. But I'm trying to really see and call people out, not call people out, just identify them early that I'm not really sure that's a good fit for me. I just kind of stay away from that, which is also self-care. Don't you think?
Oh yeah. That's like, whoo.
Yes.
Yes.
That was,
Yes.
that was really, really good. A lot was said there. I hear alignment. I hear every opportunity is not the opportunity meant for you. And I think this is a note for us and the audience. We're always going to be inundated with opportunities, especially as entrepreneurs. If you are walking in your purpose and your destiny and really taking the time to align with the opportunities that are presented before you, is self-care. Because if you start taking all these opportunities and doing all these different things and not taking the time to make sure they align with you, then it's like, I think you feel like mentally exhausted. I know we've been there before. Deshante and I have been there before, especially at the very beginning. It was not fun at all.
Right. No. You're right. The mental exhaustion, you just don't realize it's a real thing because you've done it every year for 6 years of being in Los Angeles. But it's a real thing. And when you step away from that, you're like, oh, I don't want that anymore, And you two, again, I looked at your body of work and you guys are killers. You guys can do what you want tomorrow and build on that. And anyone that doesn't recognize that, it's a no for you two. It's cool. Don't worry about it. Because it wasn't. Yeah.
That is a word. Thank you very, very much.
Yes. I love the note. I want to say that again. Even because I've been reading a lot on distractions and listening to different sermons, and even good opportunities can be distractions, and we just want to get that across to the audience. So weigh your opportunities, weigh what it is that you're trying to do, weigh your lifestyle, and even good opportunities can be distractions from self-care, can be distractions from your work, can be distractions from what you're supposed to be focusing on at the moment. So that's a great note. So what do you do on a daily for like self-care? Kind of like what's your routine? Do you have a calendar schedule?
I do. So I work from a calendar that's on my phone, which is a Google Calendar. And this is something I learned early on in the year. As soon as someone says they do want to do something with me, I'll give you guys a great example. I just put it right in the calendar, right within that minute. I just get it done so that it's there, right? And that's important because then when I look at my future week, 2 weeks, whatever, I get to start thinking about that already. And so sometimes you just forget to write things down, you forget to put them in your calendar. And so that's just one thing that I really started with. And then I make up my bed every morning. It's the first thing I do. I try to make it really tight and look really smooth. I put the remotes in a different place. I want to look decent when I get up. And then I'm always doing a workout in the morning. And so I go about an hour, hour 10, hour 15 or something like that. And then I run home from the gym. I don't even drive there anymore. Like I should drive to the gym. It's kind of funny. Now I run home from the gym and I feel amazing. And for me, again, just being an athlete, I'd like to try to stay in the best shape I can, try to eat as clean as I can. I'll get some wings, obviously, I'm not going to go there, but that's my routine, in the morning, making my bed, and then just having a kind of a mental walk through my calendar, what's going on. I really don't get on social media out of the gate, just in case something negative is happening or whatever. I just really work on positive stuff in the beginning. And then when I get to the gym, it's really just about music or something motivational. I'm just going hard. And that particular sweat and push, no matter what happens after that, I just feel way stronger. I just do, And I think sometimes you get on your social and someone says something bad about somebody else, and maybe somebody in office did something crazy, and you're just thinking about that, like out of the gate. I just don't like that, me personally. I like to go with positive first. And then I break my day up into compartments as well. I don't like to go 8 hours straight. I like to get into a rhythm, 2 to 3 hours. Then I'll take a break, food, just laugh, talk, whatever, talk to a friend. Then I'll do another 2, 3 hours. So I do them in blocks like that. And that seems to be good for me.
I love that. It sounds straight to the point, pretty simple. I would like to highlight what you said about the social media, because I think we live in an age where it's like your phone is like literally like attached to you like an organ, like you have to have it. And that's come up in with the conversation with some other speakers, like turning off notifications, setting some boundaries with your phone, because if the first thing you do when you wake up is like look on Instagram or social media, that essentially sets the tone for your entire day. And it's like a subconscious thing, and we don't even realize, that those emotions tied with whatever post, it lingers with us. And I know, I'm speaking from experience, that is a habit that I'm actively like breaking, like put the phone like way far away from me in the morning. Don't, so that
Good.
you can't, the day is your day. Like that is your time to get started. And I just wanted to make that a note, because I feel like a lot of people do that, and it's just not something that we openly talk about.
Right. I reiterate it. For me, I just try to get my own little thing going. I've even been doing something where I've got some golf balls in my living room, and then I will just focus, and maybe it's like a little bit of meditation. I'll just putt, 8, 10 golf balls, just again, just my own little time. It takes about 7, 8 minutes, but I'm so focused on that time. It's really good. And, if the phone's buzzing a lot, blowing up because someone's having an issue, I'll pick it up. But I'm like you, I'm really not looking at it. And don't tell anybody, I'm not even on Facebook. It's just a part of Fashion Week, because I don't even need to go there. I hear it enough already. People send me screenshots of some issues on Facebook. I'm like, okay, thanks. That's really my update. And how much time you spent on Facebook yesterday? I got all that time for me to do my own thing. So I like how I do it.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm right there with Kanae and with you. I'm like trying to like back off from social media. Back off. Don't pick it up first thing in the morning. Don't pick it up. It's hard too when you like, because we do a lot of work on social media. And so sometimes I'm like, okay, when do I need to get on? When do I need to get off? And then I'm like, oh my gosh. Sometimes I'm like, everybody's on. Do I need to be on? Doing the business? And so it's kind of like tricky there, but I think you're right, definitely about the first thing in the morning. So we've kind of went over everything. I want to ask you, how do you keep yourself accountable?
Ooh, that's a good one. So I think I'm the toughest on myself than anybody else, right? So when you are only child and your mom, was a single mom, when that person leaves your life, the loss I had to cancer, really no one else is going to be accountable and help you. Yes, there's people to help you. There's no question, family, no question. But every day I had to make it me, make myself accountable. So I take lots of notes. I still like to write. I'm a designer, right? So I like to see things. Um, and I like to just put big goals. Don't be afraid to try to accomplish them and then try and break them down little by little and how I can chunk it to get there, right? And that's really been it. And I think friends will tell you that you're really too tough on yourself. You're too hard on yourself, Brian. That's okay. But I got to keep it up high, honestly, because there's nobody else. There's nobody else that's going to hold me to it. All my coaches growing up in sports, I took all little pieces of them and I'm my own new coach, and that's a tough coach because that's some tough ones growing up. But that's how I done it. And then when I see the light, the tunnel where we made this many sales, we closed this new designer, we meet new people like yourself, then I'll go out and celebrate that in my own way. I might get a nice dinner. We might go out and do some shopping. We might just spend some a round of golf, whatever. I try to put little things that I like at the end of those things by holding myself accountable. And I feel if I even get anywhere close to what I think in my head, I think you two will like me in the future, I hope. And then I'll be good. But that's what it's. It's just me being, that's how I've been doing it. Pieces of old coaches together.
You being responsible for you. I think
Yes.
that is it's a great note to the audience too, because in all of this, compiling everything that we've learned from all of the amazing speakers, including yourself, it takes work to be an entrepreneur. It takes work to essentially carve out your self-care. All of it is like intentional to you becoming the best version of you and owning that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not something that you just like sort of arrive at. It's really you being, what's the word? I guess cognizant that you have to make these intentional changes in your life to get the results that you want to get. Otherwise, you just are like all over the place going in circles because you don't have anything really grounding you. You don't have any checkpoints. You, like
Right.
You said, even on your celebrations, it's like holding yourself accountable. You can throw in a celebration and it's like, great, I accomplished this. Now I can do something for me.
Sure.
And so I think that's been the highlight, at least for me, that I've learned, is that you have to be intentional about being successful and being an entrepreneur and taking care of yourself. It's like intentionality across the board.
That's correct. I totally agree. And you said something else. So in training, in working out, with gyms being closed, we just talked about that, California, Arizona. And so I was doing workouts outside, all these alone workouts. So you get some more time with yourself. But now I'm going to a smaller gym and it's less people and whatever. But I read this somewhere, I don't know where. It's two things. Earlier when you said, be your own kind of coach, this girl told me, you guru you. You guru you. I was like, oh, I like that. Like all these gurus out there running around, like you guru yourself, first. That's one. And then in fitness, you're doing, the bench press or you're doing whatever, and you get 10. And so when you go to work out, you do 3 sets of 10 and it's fine. And so this person said, could you do 11? Could you just do one more? And that's what a coach would tell you, do one more. And so each time I go to the gym, I try to do one more per rep, per set. And what's funny about that is I've been doing 20 crunches forever and I could do them and it's like, yay. And now I do 30 because over 10 weeks, I just did one more crunch, 21, and it was 22. And then today I did 30. Now you say, how could you do 30? It's literally a third more than you did, a few months ago. It's I just did one. I just did one more. And so what if you did one more of whatever it is that you're doing, right? So is it gaining one more phone call to the potential designer than you did last week because you wrote it down? You did 3 phone calls, make 4 phone calls. That's it. and then reward yourself. Is it, I want to be on time for 5 out of my 6 meetings. Okay, do that. And then next week you go, let's get on time 6 out of 6. It's just little things like that that I've really adopted that I had no idea why I never did it before, until a coach is on my back saying one more. But again, if I'm gonna you guru you, I've got to put my own one more on everything I do. And quite frankly, it's like night and day. I can take off my shirt right now. I'm in better shape than I was a few months ago.
Yeah. Wow. I love that, Ryan. Just one more step. I read something last night that said the same thing. It was about confidence, being confident as a woman. And it just said, every day, just take one more step of action. That's it. That's all you have to do. And I love that. And I think that's a place to wrap it up. Wow. Brian, you have really blessed me today. I'm over here like, I love your personality. And I love how it's very simplified with you. And I'm like, yes, I can do that. I can do one more step. I can follow the instruction. You motivated me to just keep it simplified.
Right. I'm going to reiterate that I am about common sense and really simple. I do say that to all the designers I work with. My approach is common sense. It really is. And I think you can get so overwhelmed with so many different things. And again, if you can just kind of work on what you can control, and that's really enough, quite frankly, and go hard there, you're going to succeed. And you just add a little more to it. And over a year, it's a lot of progress. It really is. And you should be happy with that, because look how fast this year went.
Yep, it was fast.
Super fast. Yes, this was amazing. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
You guru you. That's like, I feel like you should make t-shirts, right? You guru you. That's
okay.
Really, really good.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yes, let's make some t-shirts. You guru you.
Yeah, I'm gonna call that girl up and say, I talked to 2 stylists that are high fashion stylists, and they like what you came up with. Let's make a shirt. It should be like, what?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, Brian, we want to let the audience know how they can stay in contact with you, how they can get connected with you. Leave us all your details.
Sure. You can follow me at Fashion Rewired, right? So Rewired, that's the podcast. And you can also follow me at PHX Fashion Week, Instagram and Facebook, same thing. Fashion Rewired, the podcast, and PHX Fashion Week, like right there. And I'm always open to help any designer. You have a question about your brand, whatever, just shoot it to me, DM, whatever. I'll answer it like that. All those little things that people are stuck on, I've been through them before. My designers have been through them before. So just shoot me a line. It's all good.
Amazing. Well, we want to thank you so much again for taking the time out to speak with us, to pour into us as well as our audience. Again, it's been an amazing blessing. You guys, I hope you took notes. If you didn't take notes, make sure you catch the replay, and we will see you on the next On Your Image Beyond the Mirror. Bye, guys.
Thanks, ladies. I appreciate you.